Yes. Welcome back to another video. More fullback news. More fullback news that we don't want to be hearing. Obviously, last time we spoke about fullback news, it was Cancelo leaving and going to Bayern Munich. Obviously, man got an assist last night. However, this time, naughty boy Kyle Walker ran himself a bit of bother, innit?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I do feel that Kyle Walker lacks some brain cells, both on and off the football pitch, as proven numerous times over multiple years throughout COVID, breaching restrictions, and on the pitch sometimes does dumb stuff. Look at the game last season in the Champions League, where it's a dead game and he decides to kick a player and get sent off. And unfortunately, those few lack of brain cells have struck again. I guess most people know what's happened with him revealing some of his more private areas.
His Johnson.
His manscaped areas.
His manscaped. He was just showing off how it's Smooth Gang, innit? He's like, Kyle Walker getting messages, innit? And be like, yo, lads, look, I was just showing that I've been using Lawnmower 4.0 various times. Yeah.
Just obviously, you're not really supposed to be doing that.
On multiple occasions in one sitting.
Exactly. So, everyone's seen it. I guess everyone's seen the photos. And if you've not seen the photos, you've certainly heard about what's happened. And it's now being reported by the same newspaper that reported this news, that whilst Kyle Walker was in training, Manchester City have cancelled talks with Kyle Walker over a new contract extension.
Yes. Now, believe it as you will, by the way, because I kind of don't believe it. Which is weird because we didn't stream about it. But I kind of don't. I just think it's cap. I just don't rate the fact that the City after coming out yesterday and saying that they're not going to comment on the situation, but they're basically leaving it to Kyle Walker. Do you know what I mean? Basically, do you know what I mean? He's got to deal with the bed that he's made himself. Then for them to come out and then just be like, "Oh, we're cancelling contract talks." It feels very the Sun just running with something because of something that's happened.
Yeah,
a reactionary article to something that's happened where they're just kind of guessing.
So. I'd go with this as well, because as well, you've got TalkSport. They reported yesterday that Man City do not intend to comment today on the alleged incident reported by the Sun involving Kyle Walker. Man City consider this to be a private matter on a sanctioned day off and do not expect any charges or internal investigation. The Daily Mail then reported that Manchester City have clarified that Kyle Walker did not break any club rules whilst off duty, and the reported incident over the weekend is deemed a private matter. Kyle Walker reported on time for Manchester City training on Tuesday, and then it was confirmed that Kyle Walker was in training on Tuesday. So it would seem a little bit strange. I mean, it's not completely. In fact, we're just getting some breaking news on this. This is from Goal News right now, just dropping. Speculation regarding a supposed termination of Kyle Walker's contract at Manchester City is wide off the mark. The defender's current Manchester City contract is due to run until the summer of 2024, with no extension talks having taken place as yet anyway. So that's come from Goal News. So the Sun are basically saying that the contract talks have been cancelled. Daily Mail are saying this is a private matter. City considered it to be a private matter. He was in training the day after. Everything was fine. And Goal News are saying, the contract news hasn't even started yet. So varying bits of information.
Yeah, I'm going with Goal News on this. I think it's wide of the mark. I think City will be looking at. I think it's the exact opposite. I think City will be assessing the right back option. I think they'll be assessing Kyle Walker's fitness throughout the rest of the season to see where they need to be lying with that, whether they can trust Walker and Rico Lewis to be our right backs going forward, or they need to look at strengthening in that position if they think Walker's going to be inconsistently in and out of the team. I think if it goes the right way, and like, do you know what I mean? If it goes the way of Kyle Walker being able to stay fit, I reckon the club will be more than looking to sign a new contract with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I agree.
The contract runs out in 2024. I think it's the exact opposite of what the Sun are reporting. I think the Sun are just jumping on something right as it, like, do you know what I mean? Basically, because they can make a headline out of it.
Yeah, I think so as well. Big up off meta, by the way, for the $2 donation. Says roll to no left backs or right backs.
Let's go.
I know we're just going to be just have no full backs at this football.
Centre back FC, innit?
Yeah, it's that's the way we go. And Johnny, yes, with a 9 says we're about to load up on left backs, only to go and weaken the right side. Peak Man City board business.
Yeah, I know it does. It does think of that.
I mean, so let's just say for 1 minute that we believe that statement, that information from the Sun, we don't believe that to be true. Let's just talk generally. Kyle Walker's 32 now. He'll be 33 in May. He's got a contract until the end of next season, at which point he'll be 34. If you give him a new contract, he'll be 35 at the end of that contract. Do people actually want to give Kyle Walker a new deal? And if so, would it be a 1-year deal? Because remember, if you give him a 1-year deal, at the end of that 1-year deal, he's going to be 35.
Yeah, I think it would be. I think it'd be potentially just like a 1-year deal, sitting potentially with an option to extend that, and then he'd just go on a free back to Sheffield or something.
So you give him a 1-year contract?
I give 1-year contracts. But you are right. You're right in what you're saying, but I give him a year contract.
Paul in the chat there. So
I think it just kind of gives us a bit more like security in the fact that we have Kyle Walker here. Like Kyle Walker, obviously, because in summer his deal's running out, and we know how much we need to spend this summer on left back, centre mid, winger, potentially centre back. To throw right back in there straight away as well this summer, I think is a little bit heavy. I think if you give me,
you do it the year after, wouldn't you? Wouldn't be this summer, it'd be the summer after.
Yeah, but we'd have to. What I mean is like we'd have to start looking now, and then obviously it'd be going on a free next year. I just think it offers a bit more time for me, where I think we can look at them, we can assess Rico Lewis as well, see if he's ready to make that full permanent right back spot. I just think you're giving yourself safety in giving him an extra year.
Yeah. Yeah, no. For what it's worth, I agree. I give him an extra year. It can also fill in at centre back if you're in an injury disaster, which we shouldn't really be, given that we're having 5 centre backs these days.
Isn't he a part of like the captain squad in that as well? So like,
I think he is.
Yeah. So whether or not he'll still be in that, I don't know. But obviously being the captain squad, I imagine he's quite big in the dressing room.
I think I'd give him an extra year. I'd give him an extra year, but I'd be saying to him, look, in that extra year, it's quite possible that you might not be the starter. I mean, it's quite possible that next season he won't be starting. If we go to a 3 at the back situation, he won't be starting at Manchester City.
There's games
in an inverted role.
There's games now where he's not starting.
Exactly. So I think that you'd have to make it clear and just say, look, there's a high possibility that you won't be playing that. Like, you won't be starting the games and you might not be playing the big games. But so long as you're happy with that, you chill with that, then sign on. And obviously, I think it is the right thing to do with Kyle Walker, get him a new contract. I personally believe get him a new 1-year contract. I think it would be unwise to put the pressure on yourself to go and get another right back next summer, not this summer, when you don't really need to. But he's been a fantastic fullback for Manchester City. And
been unreal.
Probably one of the best right backs in Premier League history.
Without a doubt.
He certainly has. And
yeah.
Since he's come to Manchester City, he's thrived. He's won trophies, something that he didn't do at Spurs. It's very interesting.
Yeah, it is pretty mad.
Like I said.
Eric with a 5 moment says, Eric, what are season distractions if we win the league or the Champions League? I'd have to give it up to Pep and the boys big time fighting through it. There has been a lot of distractions. There has been quite a bit in it. Do you know what I mean? That's just the way this season's been. But like I say, there's a long way to go in both of those. I still back us in the league. And Champions League wise, obviously, I really, really, really hope next week goes well, because me and Lewis spoke about this quite a few times. I really want us to go far in the Champions League this year. Kind of more so than what I've ever wanted before. I just want that Champions League football.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why. I just, you know what I mean, I'm thirsty for that. Thirsty for another final.
You know what? I think it's one. We feel that like we've got so close over the last couple of years that I feel like, you know, like when we first qualified for the Champions League under Mancini and even under Pellegrini, never really got that far. I know we got to one semi-final under Pellegrini, but we never really got to the deep stages of the competition. And we were doing all right in the Premier League. Of course, we were winning trophies. And at the time, that was just that our success had only just begun. So we were kind of chilling then. Since Pep Guardiola's come in, not only are we just slamming the Premier League, we're slamming the domestic trophies and that. We're getting deep in the competition. And I think now people, whilst for me, my bread and butter will always be the Premier League. I don't play 38 games not to win a trophy. But for me, it's getting to the point now where I'm like, we're getting so close to this thing.
Yeah, it's kind of frustratingly close, isn't it? And you're just like, when is it going to end? When's it going to end, Robbie? Like,
it's the Dzeko goal, bro, against QPR.
Yeah. It's like, that's where we're at.
We're so close, yet so far that we just need someone to step up at 9-3-20 and boom the ball in the net. You know what I mean? Win us that trophy. So I'm looking for, and I also think this season, because we've had a little bit, it's kind of crazy, isn't it? Like, I guess this is because of how good we've been, that we're now considering this season a poor season. Yet we're still second in the Premier League, still got a great opportunity to win the league, still in the FA Cup, and really should go and win that trophy based on the team left in it, and still have a great opportunity to win the Champions League. Because of how the season's gone, people are, including myself, are like, we had a poor season. I guess that's just because of how elite level this club has been performing at over the last 6 years, that we're now we're saying this is a poor season, or even though you look at it, look at the facts and go, what you're on about, it's still a very good season. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Champions League, man, it's going to be very important. And going back to Kyle Walker will be crucial in that Champions League.
Without a doubt.
Against the best wingers in the world,
yeah,
you want one of the best fullbacks in the world, and that's Kyle Walker.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have Walker in your team. You got to have Walker in your team 100%. And I've seen people saying, like, oh, will Walker get dropped for this? I don't personally see him get dropped. Once Bradley starts against Crystal Palace.
City've already said, innit, that they consider it a private matter.
It's to do with him, innit? So he's just got to do. He's just got to do what he wants. Do you know what I mean? And sort it out himself. Like, it's his own. He's made his own mess. So deal with it. Crystal B with a 5 says, yes, lads. I'd say Walker is playing near the end of his contract. Our fullback situation is a mess. Fullback deep dive stream needed. Yeah, I mean, I guess that is a very good shout, given the fact that we don't have a left back. We have Kyle Walker, who's an aging right back. So I guess we'll have to look into that, Crystal B, mate. That's a good idea, especially with the international break around the corner. Mm-hmm. I appreciate the super chat. I got a question for you, bro. It's a bit like not in the Kyle Walker realm, but more Champions League realm. This year, I think I know the answer anyway, but this year, Premier League or Champions League, you've got to pick one.
Premier League.
I agree.
If you ever ask me that question, a binary decision, I'm always going to go for the Premier League. Yeah, I'm always going to pick the Premier League. If it's a binary decision,
Chat,
I'm always going to do it.
Chat, what are you saying? There'll be people out here who want Champions League, but for me, every single time it is Premier League.
Yeah, I'm always going to go Premier League in that one-on-one, just because it's 38 matches and it proves you're the best team in the country. Winning the Champions League doesn't necessarily mean you're the best country in Europe. You need a bit of luck.
Yeah, I'll put one in.
I just think for me, the Premier League, man. Like I say, I don't watch 38 matches in a season to watch my team not win the trophy. You know what I'm saying? So that's for me. But of course, I do want to win the Champions League. That doesn't mean I don't want to win it. It just means I'd rather win the Premier League. That's slightly more. Plus, you know, it's about banter as well. You know what I mean? Like, it's good when you meet United fan or Liverpool fan or Arsenal, Chelsea, whoever you meet in the street. Boom, you can give a little bit of banter. Oh, we're champions and that. I ain't ever meeting a Bayern Munich fan in Manchester, bro, or a Juventus fan or a PSG fan. You know what I mean? I don't see them people in the pub. You know what I mean? I see United fans, Liverpool fans, Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans. You know, they're the people that I debate with and banter with when I'm doing my daily tasks. Not PSG.
Not PSG in that. Yeah, I think there'll be an element of like. I feel like there'd be good vibes around the team as well if we won the Premier League this year, given the fact that we've been behind Arsenal for quite a long way. And despite not playing well and then winning with the Premier League this year, I think that'd be next level. I'm actually really surprised. There's 146 votes in this poll so far. Yeah, there's 422 people in the stream, so make sure you get your voting. It's at the top of the chat. Champions League is winning by 62%, bro.
Yeah.
I think because people are thirsty, innit? People want it.
And we've already seen that a lot of fans from outside of the UK, we've seen this in like polls and stuff. prefer the Champions League. Whereas a lot of people in the UK still prefer the Premier League. It's probably just it's probably that has something to do with it. But it's not to say that, like, if we won the Champs and we didn't win the Prem, I'm buzzing. Of course, I'd be absolutely buzzing. So it's just that's just where we are, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? And I guess again, like, if you're for example, say you're a Manchester City fan who lives in Germany.
Yeah, you're gonna meet a lot of Bayern Munich fans and things.
You probably want to win the Champions League.
Yeah.
You could rub it in the face. Like, if you win the Premier League and say, we won the Premier League, Bayern Munich fans could be like, "What? I don't care," innit? Yeah. But if you win the Champions League, they're going to be then roasted. So again, depends where you are. I think it all depends on where you are as a fan based in the world.
Change has done it.
And it probably also depends on how much you actually follow City. If you're a City fan that doesn't really watch that much, you don't tune in for every single game. You might then look at the Champions League. Whereas if you're a City fan that watches every single game, you might go, well, I'm watching every single Premier League game.
I'm watching 38 Premier League games.
I'd rather win the Prem because I'm watching every single game. I'm waking up at 4:00 in the morning to watch City versus, I don't know, Southampton. You know what I mean? I kind of want to win that trophy. Again, there's loads of different variables, man. There's loads of different variables as to why people want to win different things.
I think a big one for the Champions League is the fact that we've never won it before. I think that'll be a big one for the people in the chat as well. The fact that we've never won it before and people roast us for never winning Champions League. I feel like people want to get rid of that, and once that's out of the way, I feel like people will just be like, "Yeah, we've done that, we've won it." And I'm the same in the sense, I want to win the Champions League. Do you know what I mean? Win the Champions League, I'm done. You know what I mean? That's it. I'm happy. But I feel like people will want it because we've not won it. It's almost like what you can't have, you kind of want more. Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. And obviously the second part of that is when other fans roast us for not having a Champions League. Mm-hmm. And the whole thing of Pep's a failure if he doesn't win a Champions League. I mean, all that. Like there's a lot that plays into part with it. So I do get it.
There's also another thing, right? In that we probably won't have a better time to win multiple European trophies than right now because of the manager that we have. If you look at sort of Sir Alex Ferguson, what did he win? He won 3, I think. Or was it 2?
I think he might have won 2.
Yeah, he won a couple anyway whilst he was at Manchester United, and then United have won 3 Champions Leagues. We are a club now with a manager and a set of players that if we can win 1, I could see us go and winning another 2 or 3 in quick success, a little bit like Real Madrid did a few years ago. You remember when they went and won 3 on the bounce?
Yeah, 3 on the bounce.
But we just need to get that first one done. You know what I mean? Everyone bangs on about how Man United are so historic. They've only won 3 Champions Leagues. You know what I mean? Like, I think we can go and win 3 in quick succession, but we have to get that first one over the line. Until we do, we'll always be, are we going to win it? Are we going to win it? Once we win it, I think people start coming out with chest and saying, we're going to fucking win the next one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no one's done that because we've still not won it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, obviously, is how long Pep stays at this football club and how many Champions Leagues Pep could potentially win. Pep might be like 1 and done, innit? He might be like, I've done it. It's in a bit. Buzzing, I was waiting for this. Just like, yep. Fucking hell, Daisy Mumps. Yes. Looking forward to going Palace away. I've got a semi. I mean, don't want to say a bit premature. It's only Thursday, and it's a late kickoff. So
yeah, well, what I would say is, mate, you need to deal with that situation because the turnstiles are very narrow.
Being very generous there. Michael, yes, with a 2 says, you see the Bayern squad? Fuck me. Sane, Mane, Kingsley Coleman.
Heavy.
Choupo-Moting.
It's heavy. It's certainly heavy. It's a good squad, isn't it? They're going to be up there with the favourites, I think.
As well, man. Mukesh with a 298 says, Champions League to become recognised as a powerhouse with Pep. Oh, hopefully, yeah. Well, hopefully we can get that win whilst Pep is at City. Mm-hmm. I think it'd be a shame, like it'd be peak when it's at peak City for Imagine Pep, the year that Pep leaves, we go and win the Champions League. That'd be so dead. Everybody would be like, oh no. How's everyone in the year Pep went? That'd be arse. Mohammed Buddha 2 says, I think Pep needs to be more pragmatic in the champs.
Agree. I said this all season. And this is where I thought Calvin Phillips would have had a really, really big part to play in the Champions
Double
League.
pivot mode.
Yeah, I thought we would go to a double pivot with Calvin Phillips and Rodri just to give us that extra protection. However, the lack of minutes that Phillips has got, I think that's now unlikely. Yeah. But I still think that Pep Guardiola should and will probably want to be a little bit more pragmatic, as you say. Because, like I say, I've said this all season, but if you look at our knockout Champions League games, we concede far too many goals. We need to deal with that.
Yeah, we tank goals. I mean, like, to be fair, I guess this why Bernardo might be key as well in them kind of roles, because like there's a lot of times in games where he does drop just as deep as Rodri and just brings that energy in the midfield. Like, basically as a CDM, sometimes in games he sit further back than the centre backs. So I think Bernardo might be key in that sense, because obviously Phillips doesn't seem like he's going to really kick on yet. So I have to see what's going on with that. Did I say Mukesh? Yeah, Mukesh again. Yes, it's Mukesh. Cheers for the super chat, bro. He said, hope City make it to the FA Cup semi-final because he'll be in the UK then. Yes.
I think we probably will. You know, Burnley are a good side and we shouldn't take them lightly, but we're at home. And as long as we respect Burnley and put out a decent team, we should get the result. But Burnley are a decent side, so there is no guarantees.
Yeah, that's it. Hopefully we can get the win, though. My son with a 2 says, Bayern's squad is what people say City squad is.
True.
That is it. This like false sense of squad depth.
Yeah, true.
Dave Rocky with a 10. Yes, it's Dave, mate. Says, I actually think Pep is a league manager. He knows how to win 38 league matches in a season, but knockout competitions isn't his bread and butter. Pep needs to let his ego aside and be more pragmatic. A lot of people on the pragmatic hype.
I think so. I said this right at the start of the season. I think that, and again, this is where I think that Phillips would have come in really, really handy to play a double pivot. Can you imagine Ake, Laporte, or Stones or Kanji, whoever, with Diaz, Walker? That is your back four. So let's just say Ake, because it's going to be Ake, Akanji, Diaz, Walker. It's your back four. Rodri and Calvin Phillips sitting in front of them. Our defence, our goals conceded should drop massively. And then you just say to your 4 forward players, go and score me a few goals, man. You don't even have to score 5-6 goals like you have. Because in the last few years, since Pep's been here, for us to qualify, we've had to be scoring 4, 5, 6 goals in a tie. Whereas if you play that Rodri, Phillips, and then a solid back four, you don't, because you wouldn't be conceding 4 or 5 games a tie, 4 or 5 goals a tie. So that's what I think he should have lined up. However, with Phillips being, unfortunately, right now, not looking like a player that you would probably pick in a Champions League knockout quarterfinal, what do you do?
Yeah, that's where the issues lie in it. That's obviously it's what Pep's going to figure out, hopefully. Yeah. Exactly. And we'll see next week which team he kind of goes with next week, and then obviously going forward from that and see what I just really hope that we get through against Leipzig, man. Obviously I think it'll be a difficult game. Peyton with the 12 months. Yes, Peyton, mate. A full year, mate. Says, yes, boys. A whole year of you lot cheering me up daily. Get Jude in. Get Maddison in. Get Guardiola in. Get Leao in. Bring me a starting left back.
I think they're the names that we'll be looking at, mate.
Yeah, they are the names that we are linked with. So, I appreciate the 12 months, mate. Big up Peyton, mate. Infidel, yes, it's Infidel with a month, says only one other team has won 3 on the bounce. That will be bigger for the legacy of Pep and the squad. But Champions League is needed before Pep goes to become the GOAT. I
agree.
I think Pep needs that Champions League, or else people will be like he failed at City. Because ultimately as much as he wasn't brought into it, I mean, it wasn't, win the Champions League or you sacked me. He wasn't brought in just for that sense. But ultimately, that is one of our goals. And you'd think that having Pep Guardiola, a team that was built for, we're pretty much built for Pep. You'd think it'd be a match made in heaven, and he would have got that.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair comment.
But man didn't play a CDM. man thought, you know what? Nah. But JP, do I believe he failed at City? Not a chance, mate. Pep Guardiola has not failed as a Manchester City manager. He has not failed. He's proven time and time again. We win things every year, pretty much. So he's not failed as a City manager.
He's made us the most dominant club in this country in the last 10 years.
It's just other fans will look at it like that, in the sense that they'll kind of bin it because they don't care about that. They'll just be like, "Yo, nah, didn't win a Champions League, failure." I don't see that as the case.
Yeah, no, I agree. But Mohammed with the 2 says 2021 is the perfect example. We were good defensive. I mean, we can be good defensively. It's just more often than not we do concede a lot of goals in knockout games. So. That's what we need to change. Otherwise, we will concede more goals. It just makes it more difficult for yourself. Make it more difficult for yourself. Then concede less goals, more chance of going through. I mean, that's just facts, isn't it? So that's what we need to work on this season. But we've got to get through Palace first. That's coming up. We'll start our sort of previews on that. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure. But it's a massive game this weekend. Can City close the gap on Arsenal again to 2 points? Arsenal play, of course, on Sunday. They've got a game tonight, actually, away at Sporting Lisbon. So it's not going to be easy for them. So, this weekend is absolutely huge. But, just to sort of summarise, we don't think that the news coming out of the Sun today is accurate. There's already been some contradicting information on Kyle Walker's contract situation.
Basically, Sun chatting shit.
We think so.
We think the Sun chatting shit. They... City aren't going to cancel contract talks with Walker because he got his knob out.
Yeah, I agree. Big up JB with a 6 says Pep can be pragmatic and hence all the Premier League's an excellent Champions League final run. He does fuck it up every now and then, and usually it's in big games, hence we lose. Yeah, and I don't really give him that much stick about making big decisions. I don't really like it, but at the same time, I also accept that if you get a big managers make big decisions. Otherwise, you get like a Pochettino who did what he did at Spurs and played players just because he thought they should play rather than what he should actually done, which would have been a big decision. Yeah, exactly. So you need big managers to make big calls, and sometimes the big calls they get it wrong. So it is what it is. But that is where we're at, man. That's where we're at, wasn't it?
That's your Kyle Walker update.
It's your Kyle Walker update. Make sure you drop a like on the stream. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well if you are new, guys. We're back again later on tonight with some more stream. And in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your Thursday. It's almost a weekend. And we'll see you in the next one. See you in a bit, guys.
See you in a bit.